Hey there, friends. A good morning to you from London, the UK. I want to address this video to two people, Madeline Edwards, who I don't know, but I just saw a video that she made about how she's opening for Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, Sheryl Crow, and a bunch of others. And she was talking to some industry people in Nashville, and they either didn't care or didn't know who she was talking about. Let me get to that one in a second. Hey, Madeline. I'm sure you're awesome and you've got a long career ahead of you, and I'm going to help you a little bit navigate the Nashville nonsense because I lived there for 22 years. I just came to London recently, and I also want to dedicate this to my buddy Steve. Steve plays music. Steve and I grew up relatively in the same place in New York, and he moved to Nashville 11 years ago, just lost his day job. So he's kind of contemplating, like, okay, where do I belong? Where am I going? Do I stay? Do I go? Whatever. All right, here's some perspective after 22 years in Nashville. Number one, Nashville does not care about what you did before you got there. And what I mean by that is, I had a career of my own for 10 years. I was a top 20 Americana artist. I had a top 40 single. I had been touring the world, decided to move to Nashville at the behest of some very heady people who asked me to go there and work with them. And when I got there, they were just like, yeah, who are you? We don't care. Nashville does not care who you are or what you've done unless you're making them money. Unless you're making them money, that's all they care about. Or you're filling a specific genre, need, and something they can digest that makes sense to them, that's in their purview, in where they're doing business. For instance, if you write songs or if you're an artist that fills a need or a gap or interests where their business lies, again, then you've got their attention. Otherwise, you could be Warren Zevon, you could be Jackson Brown, you could be anybody, coming there at any time. And they don't care if you're not helping them get cuts with specific artists or filling an artistic need that's happening right now for them, right in front of their face, on radio or whatever the heck they're pitching at that time. So that's the other thing to be careful about is they don't know. And they're usually, and this is true of the industry in general, so I don't want to point this just specifically at Nashville, the industry in general is usually responding to what happened in the last couple of years. They're not soothsayers or savants by any means. They don't know what the next big thing is. They don't know what the next cool or happening thing is. And a lot of the times they're not even guessing. They're reacting. They're reacting to what already happened. So therefore, you don't really get too much innovation. You don't get too much clever forward thinking. You know what I mean? So that's a consideration. And as far as people not recognizing who you're working with, legends, or what you've done before, here's another thing. Most of the executives, not the ones that I met when I got there, some of those were legends on their way out who had, steered the business for many, many years on instinct, on taste and instinct. Now, because they opened schools to teach what we do, they are what the great Bill Vorndick, the late great Bill Vorndick of 21 Grammys, something he said to me once before he died was, all of these new executives, they're paper trained. They're paper trained. They only know what they've seen in front of them on paper in a classroom, and then they get internships at record labels, and then they're in charge in a few years. they're paper trained. It's not about instinct. It's not about taste. It's not about growing up with it and being in the bars, in the clubs, working with other people for many years, honing your craft, seeing what works in front of an audience and what doesn't. And then sometimes you get lucky. You know, I've worked with some greats, and I've tried to be as great as I could for myself, but you know, sometimes you just, man, something just clicks and it happens, and other times it doesn't. But being paper trained isn't going to help you to know the difference. So, Madeline, I would say to you that if some of these people aren't recognizing who you're working with or you for what you're doing to get there, and Steve, you know, I know you're considering whether, you know, this is the end of the road for you there or not. I can't help you with that, but I will tell you that Nashville only cares about if you can make the money, and that there are a ton of people in charge right now who are paper trained and haven't really done it themselves for very long or got there because of their instincts. I don't know if that helps or not, but there's a coffee cheers from London, UK this morning, and I wish you both good luck and good fortune and many, many years of success in this business. All I can say is don't quit, don't let the bastards get you down, and don't listen to too many people who haven't done it themselves.